Attraction is not created by effort. It's destroyed by it. The more you try to be interesting, funny, impressive, or likable, the more people subconsciously feel that something is off. Neediness leaks through tone, body language, timing, and energy. That's why most people never understand why they're overlooked, ignored, or taken for granted. They believe attraction is about doing more, saying more, giving more. But when you look at someone like Thomas Shelby, you realize the opposite is true. He attracts without chasing. He holds attention without entertaining. He becomes unforgettable without asking to be noticed. And that's because attraction, at its core, is psychological, not visual, not verbal, and not performative. Thomas Shelby doesn't pull people in by being loud or expressive. He does it by being still. Stillness is rare in a world addicted to noise. When everyone is rushing, reacting, explaining themselves, and oversharing, the person who moves slowly and speaks with restraint immediately stands out. This isn't accidental. The human brain is wired to pay attention to what doesn't fit the pattern. Calm in chaos signals safety, control, and depth. When someone remains composed while others are emotionally exposed, it creates an unconscious hierarchy. People lean toward whoever seems least affected by the environment. That's the first psychological habit of silent attraction. Emotional neutrality, not coldness, not detachment, but control. Most people sabotage their attractiveness by broadcasting every emotion they feel. Anxiety shows in rushed speech. Desire shows in over-availability. Insecurity shows in excessive explaining. Thomas Shelby never does that. He withholds emotional access until it's earned. This creates tension, and tension is attractive. When people can't immediately read you, they invest mental energy trying to understand you. Mystery isn't about hiding facts. It's about regulating access. The more predictable you are emotionally, the faster people lose interest. Silent attraction grows when your inner world isn't immediately accessible to everyone. Another habit that makes Thomas Shelby magnetic is his relationship with validation. He doesn't seek it. Most people unknowingly chase approval in every interaction. They nod too much. They agree too fast. They laugh when something isn't funny. They give compliments hoping to receive one back. This creates an imbalance. The one who seeks validation is always psychologically beneath the one who doesn't need it. Thomas Shelby speaks and acts as if approval is irrelevant to him. This doesn't make him arrogant. It makes him grounded. People are drawn to those who appear self-contained because it suggests a strong internal reference point. When your self-worth doesn't depend on external reactions, others begin to treat you as someone valuable by default. Silence is another underestimated weapon of attraction. Most people rush to fill silence because it makes them uncomfortable. Thomas Shelby lets silence breathe. Silence forces others to reveal themselves. It shifts conversational power without aggression. When you pause before responding, when you don't immediately react, when you allow space to exist, people project meaning onto you. They assume depth, intelligence, and confidence. This isn't manipulation. It's human psychology. The mind fills gaps automatically, and what it fills them with depends on how you carry yourself. If your presence is calm, silence becomes magnetic instead of awkward. There's also the way Thomas Shelby relates to time. He is never in a hurry to impress. Urgency signals scarcity, not of time, but of self-worth. People who rush emotionally often feel replaceable, even to themselves. Attraction grows when someone feels chosen, not chased. Thomas Shelby waits. He observes. He lets others come toward him. This creates a subtle power dynamic where attention flows in his direction naturally. In real life, this means resisting the urge to always be the first to text, the first to explain, the first to fix. Space allows value to be felt. Another psychological habit behind silent attraction is boundaries without announcement. Thomas Shelby doesn't warn people repeatedly. He doesn't explain his limits emotionally. He simply enforces them. When someone crosses a line, the response is calm but final. This consistency teaches people how to treat him. Attraction fades quickly when boundaries are weak because predictability replaces tension. Strong boundaries create respect, and respect amplifies attraction. People feel safer and more intrigued around those who know where they stand. Voice also plays a critical role. Thomas Shelby's voice is low, measured and deliberate. This isn't about pitch, it's about certainty. People with silent attraction don't speak to be heard. They speak because they have something to say. They don't rush their sentences or soften their statements to avoid judgment. They allow their words to land. When you speak slowly and with intention, your nervous system communicates stability to others. That stability is deeply attractive, especially in a world full of emotional volatility. Perhaps the most important habit of all is internal alignment. Thomas Shelby's actions match his values. There's no desperation to appear one way while feeling another. People sense internal conflict immediately. Silent attraction comes from congruence, when what you think, feel, and do are aligned. You don't need to perform when you are consistent. You don't need to seek attention when you respect yourself. This inner coherence creates a gravitational pull. Others feel it before they can explain it. But here's the cost that most people avoid acknowledging. Silent attraction requires letting go of people-pleasing. It requires disappointing others. It requires being misunderstood at times. When you stop over-explaining, some people will assume you're cold. When you stop chasing, some will accuse you of being distant. When you stop seeking approval, those who benefited from your insecurity may feel threatened. That's the price of psychological power. And it's a price worth paying, because attraction built on authenticity and self-control lasts longer than attraction built on performance. Thomas Shelby isn't attractive because he tries to be. He's attractive because he doesn't need to be. He's not available to everyone. He doesn't dilute himself to be accepted. He doesn't explain his worth. And that's the shift you need to make. Stop asking how to be more attractive. Start asking how to be more grounded, more disciplined, more emotionally regulated, and more internally aligned. Attraction is a side effect, not a goal. When you stop chasing attention, you gain presence. When you stop explaining yourself, you gain authority. When you stop needing validation, you gain freedom. And when you gain freedom, people feel it. That's silent attraction. That's the psychology Thomas Shelby embodies. And once you understand it, you'll never need to try again.